નમસ્કાર દર્શક મિત્રો, હું રેશમા આપનું સ્વાગત કરું છું. જ્યારે પણ કોઈ એવી વાત આવતી હોય કે હંમેશા આપણને કોઈ એવો પ્રશ્ન થાય છે, એવું થાય કે કંઈક સમજણ નથી પડતી, ત્યારે આપણા વડીલો આપણને એવું કહેતા હતા કે ભગવદ્ ગીતા એક એવી છે કે તેમાંથી કોઈ પણ પ્રશ્નનો જવાબ તમને મળી જશે. અને ઘણી વખત આપને યાદ હોય તો એવી પણ આપણે કોશિશ કરતા હતા કે ઘરમાં ભગવદ્ ગીતા પડી હોય, આપણો જે પ્રશ્ન હોય અથવા તો આપણને કંઈક પ્રોબ્લેમ હોય છે તેનું આપણે સોલ્યુશન લેવા માટે ભગવદ્ ગીતાને એકદમ આમ ઓપન કરતા હતા અને એમાં જે પણ શ્લોક આવે છે, જે પણ શિખામણ આવે છે, તે શિખામણ આપણે વાંચતા હતા અને તેમાંથી આપણે આપણું સોલ્યુશન લેતા હતા. આ તમામ એક્સરસાઇઝ કરી જશે, એવી મેં પણ કરી છે, આપે પણ કરી છે. પણ આ એક્સરસાઇઝની જો વાત કરીએ તો નાના બાળકોને કદાચ આટલી બધી ખ્યાલ નથી આવતી. નાના બાળકોને જો એવું કહેવામાં આવે કે તમારે તમારી સંસ્કૃતિ વિશે વાંચવાનું છે, સંસ્કૃતિ વિશે વાંચવાનું એટલે ફક્ત આપણે ભારતીયોની જો વાત કરીએ તો ભારતીયોને કદાચ તેમની સંસ્કૃતિની એટલી બધી ખ્યાલ નથી હોતો. તેમને ઘણા બધા સવાલો થાય છે અને આજના બાળકો માટે તો એજ્યુકેશન સિસ્ટમ એટલી બધી હેડેક જેવી થઈ ગઈ છે એવું મા બાપો પણ કહેતા હોય છે. અને ખાસ કરીને વાત કરવામાં આવે કે જ્યારે એજ્યુકેશનની અંદર બધું જ ભણાવવામાં આવે છે, બધી જ મેથોડોલોજી ભણાવવામાં આવે છે, મેથ્સ, ઇંગ્લિશ, સાયન્સ બધું જ ભણાવવામાં આવે છે, પણ કદાચ આપણી સંસ્કૃતિ અંદર રહેલી, સંસ્કૃત ભાષામાં રહેલી ભગવદ્ ગીતા હોય, રામાયણ હોય, એ કોઈ બાબતો ભણાવવામાં નથી આવતી. હોય કદાચ એકાદું ચેપ્ટર લેવામાં આવતું હોય ને એ ચેપ્ટર થકી જ બાળકોને એવું ભણાવવામાં આવે કે આ ચેપ્ટર થકી જ જોવાનું હોય. પણ અહીંયા કોઈ એવું વ્યક્તિ છે કે જે હજારો કિલોમીટર દૂર રહે છે અને તેને એવો મનમાં એવો વિચાર આવે છે યાર કે બાળકોને ભગવદ્ ગીતા કઈક રીતે સમજાવવી જોઈએ. હવે તેને એવો વિચાર આવે છે, એ બી હજારો કિલોમીટર, એટલે તમને ખબર પડી જશે કે હું કોઈ બીજા દેશના વ્યક્તિની વાત કરી રહી છું. એને એવો વિચાર આવે છે કે મારી સંસ્કૃતિને મારા બાળકોની સાથે સાથે બીજાના બાળકો કેવી રીતે ઇઝીલી સમજી શકે. જ્યારે કે ભગવદ્ ગીતા તો આટલી મોટી છે, આટલા બધા શ્લોક છે એની અંદર. શ્રી કૃષ્ણ ભગવાનને જો એક સમજવા બેઠો તો તમારી આખી જિંદગી નીકળી જાય, એ કેરેક્ટર જ ના સમજાય. અર્જુનને સમજવા બેસો તો તમને ખબર જ ના પડે કે એને જ્યારે લડવાનું હતું ત્યારે કેમ એણે પોતાના રિલેટિવ્સ સાથે નહોતું લડવાનું પસંદ કર્યું. આ ઘણા બધા ક્વેશ્ચન જે છે આપણા મનમાં છે. કહેવાય છે કે એક જિંદગીની પણ ઘણી બધી જિંદગીઓ જોડાયેલી આ જે કથા જે છે, આ જે વાત છે, તેને જો સમજાવવા આપ બેસો ને તો ઘણો બધો સમય જતો રહે. પણ હવે આને સરસ રીતે અને ટૂંકમાં જે નાના બાળકોને સમજણમાં પડે, એમને મનમાં એવું થાય કે નહીં, ઇન્ટરેસ્ટ જાગે. અદરવાઇઝ ભગવદ્ ગીતા તમને કે મને કોઈને વાંચવી નથી ગમતી, સિવાય કે કોઈ પ્રોબ્લેમનું સોલ્યુશન છે, મેં પહેલાં કીધું છે. પણ હવે નાના બાળકોને કોઈ ઇન્ટરેસ્ટ થાય અને એમને એવી મજા આવે કે આ બુક હું વાંચી શકું. અત્યારે ઇંગ્લિશ મીડિયમનો તો જમાનો છે, ઇંગ્લિશ મીડિયમમાં તમામ લોકો અત્યારે પોતાના બાળકોને ભણાવી રહ્યા છે. તો સરસ ભાષામાં, સરસ એવી શૈલીની અંદર એક સ્ટોરીની રીતે ભગવદ્ ગીતાને જ્યારે કન્વર્ટ કરે છે કોઈ વ્યક્તિ, અને તે ભગવદ્ ગીતાની બુક જ્યારે ભારતમાં આવે છે અને ભારતમાં તેનું લોન્ચિંગ થાય ત્યારે સૌથી વધારે ગર્વ આપણે ભારતીયોને થવાનું છે. અને તેમાં પણ જો એ ભારતીયોની વાત કરીએ, કોઈ ગુજરાતનું એ વ્યક્તિ છે અને ગુજરાતનું જ વ્યક્તિ છે અને ત્યાં યુકેની અંદર રહે છે અને ત્યાંથી એ બુક લખે છે તો કેટલી ખુશી થાય. જી હા, એવી જ એક વ્યક્તિત્વની આજે હું મુલાકાત કરવા જઈ રહી છું, સોનલ સચદેવ પટેલ. જી હા, તેમને ન્યૂ ચિલ્ડ્રન્સ બુક લખી છે ગીતા, ધ બેટલ ઓફ ધ વર્લ્ડ્સ. તો તેમની સાથે મુલાકાત કરું. વેલકમ ટુ અવર શો, સોનલ.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you very much. Sonal, I would like to ask first of all, how and where you inspired for write this book?
So, when I was little, I watched my mother every day reading the Gita. But I never read the Gita until I was pregnant.
Yeah.
And then I felt like, let me read the Gita so that when my children grow up, I can explain to them, like you said, that the Gita has all the answers and it teaches us how to win this battle of life.
Right.
But when I read the Gita, even as an adult, I found it quite tricky to understand.
Yeah.
You know, it was a heavy text and it was difficult for me to, firstly, to draw out the messages,
Yeah.
and then secondly, to relate to what's happening in my life day after day. And then I read the interpretation by my guru, Paramahansa Yogananda, and then that is what really inspired me, because he offered a new message which I wanted to bring to children.
Okay. Sonal, here is a reality of Bhagavad Gita. We can think and we can say not only one life to understand Bhagavad Gita. You know that so many lives that first of all I told you. So how you only simple and how you weaving in this simple way for only children?
So We didn't take all the messages from the Gita and weave them into this story. We took these two main messages. One is of divine introspection and the second was of meditation, and we focused on those. And some of the other messages like karma, reincarnation, being even-minded and doing your duty, we incorporated those in the characters in the story. So what my guru explained is that this battle that takes place between the Pandavas and the Kauravas, it's actually another way of explaining the battle that happens within ourselves every day. And we took that concept of this internal battle between our good tendencies and our bad tendencies, and we lifted it inside the body of a relatable child. And that's how we weaved in these concepts into the story itself.
So much work and so much study load in schooling life, okay? Education and that's the mathematics, so many subjects for that. So could you think about that, how children absorb this meditation?
Well, the beauty of meditation is that we can practice it just for a few minutes. And I've been taking the book around to different schools in India, and I've been practicing meditation with the children just for 3 to 5 minutes. And even within such a small amount of time, you know, they've been so good at being focused and still and calm. And afterwards I was asking them, how does this make you feel? And you know, I think they all felt the benefits of meditation and feel that actually it helps them to be better at all of their studies and the busy lives that they have.
Okay, and also your co-author Gemma, right? Yeah. Okay, and when did Gemma join you?
Well, Gemma is my childhood friend. I've known her since I was young, and I went to her, and she's a Women's Prize listed author actually, and also my good friend. And I went to her and I said, you know, I would really like to take this concept of the Gita and my guru's interpretation and transform it into a children's story. So together we brainstormed this idea of this young boy called Dev and how we would write a compelling story for children and weave these messages of the Gita in together. So it was really nice to work as a team, and also she is of Jewish heritage. So it really was interesting to me that the concepts of this Hindu scripture, the Gita, they really resonated with her too. And that further validated my belief that the Gita is useful for all of humanity, for Hindus and non-Hindus. And in the UK, we've had interest from people of all faiths and no faith at all, because if this book helps you to win the battle of life, then it doesn't matter what religion you are. It's helpful for all of our children.
First of all, you understand what is the Gita. Also, you would to like that understand Gemma. Firstly, you would to have understand her, what is the Gita, how she interested in this Bhagavad Gita.
Well, she said that it really resonated, that there were many messages in the Gita that were similar to the messages of Judaism, and this idea of good winning over evil and this concept of meditation, that she felt like those really appealed to her as well. And I think also she was very good at being interested in another culture. You know, she wanted to learn about this new Hindu text. So she was very open to it, and it was really wonderful to have that collaboration.
Okay. Did she understand all characteristics of Mahabharata? It's Arjuna and Sri Krishna and all these?
Yeah, well, she did a lot of research. So she researched my guru's Gita, she read all of Paramahansa Yogananda's Gita, and then we discussed the story of the Mahabharata as well. So not just Krishna and Arjuna, but even the story of the Pandava brothers, some of the funny stories about Bhim, and when the boys were growing up, Arjuna when he was being this famous archer and shooting the eye of the bird. So we discussed many things around the Gita before honing in on these messages.
Okay, right, Gita, the Battle of the Words, right, this book,
yes.
Exactly, yeah, very beautiful. How you understand that children, what is the story of it book?
So the story begins with this young boy called Dev, and Dev is 11 years old, and he's feeling really consumed by grief because his father has passed away. And so he's angry and he's upset and he's confused. And then all of a sudden he meets this sprite-like creature named Sanjay.
Yeah, exactly.
This is Sanjay. Yeah. And Sanjay says to him, he claims this incredible story that there's a battle and it's raging inside your body. And Dev is a bit cynical. He thinks, who's this magical creature that suddenly appeared? But then Sanjay persuades him, there's a battle that's taking place inside yourself. Let me go inside your body and let me go in search of this noble warrior Arjun. Arjun is the leader of the good tendencies. And if I can find him, then I'll persuade him to fight with the leader of your bad tendencies and to restore peace in this struggling kingdom that's your body. So Dev agrees to let Sanjay go inside his body, and he goes on this journey up Dev's spine through the chakras, which of course, as we know in meditation, are centers of energy. But in our story become all these magical realms and lands with all sorts of challenges and creatures that Sanjay has to go on to try and find Krishna and Arjun. So it's very interesting for the child because it's like a magical adventure story.
Right. In this book, Gita, The Battle of the Worlds, right? Sometimes so many people don't interest in our religion's book. Yeah, exactly, right. But I think what is the real way of the introduce the Gita in this book?
So we knew that we had to make it interesting for the child. Right. We had to relate to them so that they would say, I want to pick up this book and read it.
Exactly.
Not, it's the Gita, you have to read it, it's part of your heritage. Yeah. That it would be interesting and they would want to turn the page to find out what happens next, what happens to Sanjay, what happens to the boy. And then through the character of Sanjay, we show what the messages of the Gita are. So Sanjay is even-minded, he's determined, and then he meets Krishna and Arjun on the battlefield, and he listens to what Krishna has to say to Arjun.
Don't you think that children confused between their schooling time and normally they could so many work, so suppose I before told you, right? So much work, and could you think meditation and Gita, they combine and understood and following all that?
Well, I think that's exactly it, is that we have to make them feel like it's relatable to their lives. If they feel like this Gita can help me, then they're going to want to read it. If they can, and actually when I've been going into the schools, we've been talking about how Narendra Modi does meditation, Sachin Tendulkar does meditation. So all of these very busy people, more busy than them, they're practicing meditation because it brings about peace and calmness and that connection with the universal spirit. So that's why they also might want to find time to meditate. And that what Krishna says in the Gita is, we don't need to leave our studies and go to the Himalayas and become yogis and all start meditating, that we must do our duty. So they can do a little bit of meditation, 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes in the evening, and then they'll be even better at their studies and even better at cricket and even better at art or whatever it is that they love to do.
Yeah. Is it tough for children?
Meditation? Yeah. I think it's tough for everybody, but I think if you start when you're young, it's better. And it's like training a muscle. If you want to have big muscles, you have to train them a lot and you have to practice. So in the same way, you have to train the mind, to practice meditation.
Exactly. What do you think about our Indian children? Only Indian children. What is your thoughts about them?
You mean in terms of them reading the Gita?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I've been surprised that none of the children that I've met have actually read the Gita. So I think that they do have an interest in learning about their culture. But like I said, I think we have to take it to them in a way that's exciting, is compelling, and where they feel like it's relevant to their modern day lives, they can relate to it.
Gita, the Battle of the Worlds, right? What is the thought behind that name?
So the thought behind the name was firstly to talk about, there's two parallel stories going on. There's this battle that's taking place inside Dev. So it's that battle of his good tendencies and his bad tendencies. And it's also this battle that we know about in the Gita between the Pandavas and the Kauravas. So that was the reason for calling it the Battle of the Worlds.
Do you read a whole Gita book?
Yes.
Oh my God.
But I find it hard to understand as well.
Okay. And you read in only English or Sanskrit?
No, I read it in English, which I think is probably why I find it tricky to understand, because it's translated from the Sanskrit directly to the English. But my guru's interpretation, Paramahansa Yogananda, he wrote a book called Bhagavad Gita, God Talks with Arjun, and I found that much easier to understand.
What is that, your personal, I want your personal opinion, Gita, Bhagavad Gita, real Bhagavad Gita, I'm not talking about this, yeah, right? Would you like so much, very much, we can say, you understand and touching your heart that thought about Gita?
Yeah, because I think everybody's different. But I grew up in a house where my father and my mother, they both did their puja, their prayers every day. And I saw what a magical relationship they have. My mother, she followed Krishna, and my father, he followed Ram. And so from a young age, I have always felt that connection with Lord Krishna. This was given to me when I was 8 years old by my mother, and I always wear it. And so for me, the Bhagavad Gita has a special resonance, but I recognize the fact that not everybody feels like that. So we shouldn't just assume that everybody loves Krishna. We have to take the story in a way to them that they can understand the meaning behind, not you have to worship this idol because we've said that you should. But if they don't feel it from their heart, then there's no point. And we have to build a bridge to help them to feel that way or to access that.
Could you think about that, our Sanskriti, you know, Indian culture, and so many people that written and listening, you know, reading so much in Sanskriti, but we can say main pillar of our Sanskriti is on Bhagavad Gita, Ramayana, Mahabharata, you know, that's what do you believe in that?
I believe there's so much value in that. And it was exactly that desire to hold on to this culture. You know, maybe because we're not living in India, we feel more like we don't want to lose our Indian culture because it's so valuable and we want to pass it on to our children. Like, I wasn't born in India, my parents weren't born in India, my grandparents were born in India, and yet we feel such a strong connection with India. So I think there's huge value in our Indian culture, and more importantly, I want my children to be happy. You know, of course I want them to be successful and to do well in their exams, but number one, I want them to be happy. And I think that the Gita gives them that message of how to be happy.
What is your work, expect this Gita, what is your work in UK?
Well, my parents, they set up a charitable foundation called God My Silent Partner because they wanted to try and do good in India and in the UK. And so I help them to run their charitable foundation, which focuses on helping girls mainly, to empower girls to lead sort of happier lives and have the same opportunities as everybody else. And actually it was even the work that I was doing in our charity that made me realize even more the need for a book like this, because many of the problems that we see in our society, like violence against women or mental health, yeah, they stem from the fact that at an early age, children don't get taught that value-based education or how to live a peaceful, happy life. And then we have problems later. But if when children are young, they learn all these messages, then not only does it help themselves, but it helps their whole community.
Right. Have you familiar the Indian girls situation?
I think that we need to change mindset. I think that life for girls will only change when their role in society improves and that people see girls as valuable so that they can contribute economically, but also they recognize just generally the value of a girl. And that's why I think it's important that we work with girls and with boys. Because if boys see a girl as she's equal to me, then they will respect her. But if they see her as lower to me, then they won't respect her. And using this book to help children to learn to respect themselves and other people, I think will help to increase that the recognition of the girl in society.
Right. Could you think that about our so many books, that's Bhagavad Gita, that's Ramayana, so many things give us so many thoughts and religious thoughts and their character. all character teach us, you know, so much things, and reality of our Indians mindset. You say that we change our mindset, but could you think that still today, that mindset have changed?
I think it's changing slowly, and I don't think it's a problem that's just restricted to India. I think it's a global problem. But like the Dalai Lama said, that if every 8-year-old in the world is taught meditation, then we will eliminate violence from the world in one generation. So I think if we invest at the early years, then by the next generation, then yes, we will see a change.
What is your future plan? Any books, or this is very good thought for children's, because children's before we are talking about that, children are not interested in our granths, you know, granth, Mahabharata and all that, but you are converted very easy language, this Gita, yeah, right? Gita, the battle of the words. So what is your future plan? Any book or any suggestion for children?
Well, for me, I think I'm going to continue working on social impact. So where I feel like there's a message that's helpful to give, then I will give it. And then also, I was thinking recently actually that Dev and Sanjay have such an interesting relationship in this story,
right,
that maybe I'll write another book to see, you know, what happens to Dev and Sanjay after this. So when you finish this book, you'll see that it's sort of left hanging, that maybe there's another adventure to be had. So maybe there's another adventure story.
Okay. So many children, they don't have any schooling, you know, books, or so many condition their lives, our Indian rural area and urban area, you can say that. So how we teach them and how we work for them? Can you any idea for?
Well, I think that, do you mean how do we improve the lives of the poor people in India? I think I wish there was one silver bullet answer, but I think that through the work that we've done in our charitable foundation, we feel that the focus is working with adolescent girls. So girls, when you work with them, they lift up their whole community and their whole society. So that's why we're focusing where we are on adolescent girls.
What is the message for our viewers?
About the Gita? Just that this tool of meditation and introspection is so powerful, and that they should read Gita, the Battle of the Worlds, because it gives a bridge and an insight for children to read the real Gita, and in a fun and relatable way that children will find interesting.
Okay. તો દર્શક મિત્રો જોયું જે પ્રમાણે મેં શરૂઆતથી જ કહ્યું હતું કે યુકેમાં કોઈ રહે છે અને આપણી ગીતા આપણી સંસ્કૃતિ વિશે વિચારે છે. જે હા, તો આપણે તેમણે જે બુક લખી છે, હવે લોન્ચ થઈ રહી છે, તે બુકને કેવી રીતે આપણે વાંચવી અને તેને બધા જ કેરેક્ટર જોઈ રહ્યા છે આપણે કે બધા જ કેરેક્ટર્સ આપણી પાસે છે, બુક્સ આપણી પાસે છે, બધું જ ઇન્ડિયામાં જ થયું છે. તેમ છતાં ઇન્ડિયાની બહાર રહીને કોઈ વ્યક્તિ જે ઇન્ડિયાનું જ છે, ગુજરાતનું જ છે, તે વ્યક્તિ જ્યારે આ પ્રકારનું કામ કરે છે ત્યારે આપણને પ્રાઉડ તો થવાનું છે ને, બે ગુજરાતી તો આ પ્રાઉડ થવું છે. મહત્વની બાબત કે જે પ્રકારે અત્યારે આપણે બુક ગીતાની જે અત્યારે વાત કરી છે, તે બુકની અંદર નાના બાળકોને આપણે કદાચ એવું વિચાર્યું ન હતું કે નાના બાળકોને ગીતા કેવી રીતે સમજમાં લાવવી, કે તેમને કેવી રીતે શીખવવી, તે જ કામ અહીંયા સોનલ સચદેવ પટેલે કર્યું છે. તો તે આપણી સાથે અહીંયા ઉપસ્થિત હતા. થેન્ક યુ વેરી મચ સોનલ.
Thank you.
Yeah.